Welcome.
Welcome to the mob,
Welcome to
baby.
the Mob Show.
It's Friday. We are here. We are happy to be here. What's Friday? Whatever. But we are happy to be here. We have some interesting guests with us today. Hailing from Florida, we have Jonathan, our host. You guys know him. He's always here with us. We have one of our special guests, Abdiel Gonzalez, who is a PRI consultant. If I said that wrong, please correct me. We're going to learn a lot from him tonight. And then we have Samantha Colbert, Executive Director of the new Community Foundation of Monroe County. We are super, super excited today because we're going to be talking a little bit about finances, personal finances, and nonprofit and finances. And right now in our economy, we're experiencing, an inflation. There's a lot of things going on right now where it may seem economically hard, but I think with the right tools and the right information, we can find ways to work around that, to prosper, to, kind of move up on that economic ladder and find some stability in that. So, you still saying?
Me? Yeah, I'm still going to sharing. Listen, if you know how many people right now waiting for this program? It's a lot of people. A lot of people are waiting for this. You already know this is what we do. It's a community-based podcast when we get people they are involved in our community into doing better. It's always good to do better. So that's what we do here. Now it's a pleasure for us to have Abdiel Gonzalez. I have the pleasure to work with him. Thank you so much for everything that you do. He actually it's one of the operators in the Spanish channel, which is called Poder en Vida TV. We do a lot of financial programs in there in that channel. So it's a Roku channel, okay? So if you know Spanish, go there, Roku channel, Poder en Vida TV. Samantha, it's a pleasure to have you. You know what? This is the first time I think I got it right. I think she was like, for some reason, I don't know why, I always call you Sarah, right? I said,
Sarah, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why. So, finally, I got it right. Samantha, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And my good brother, always.
Yeah. So we're ending the month. Actually, today's March 1st, right? And last month, we didn't touch too much on Black History Month, but I know that Jonathan had something really cool he did. Jonathan, you want to share with us before we get into our topic what you were doing?
Absolutely. Once again, welcome. I was the featured speaker at a Black History celebration at Richard Montgomery High School in Maryland, in Rockville, Maryland. And it was magnanimous. It was an auspicious occasion. And we highlighted the abilities, gifts, and talents and purpose in the students in the school. They had an opportunity to showcase their talent. And what is missing in the Black communities, it's not indicative of every Black community, but in the hood especially, there is an identification crisis. And that's the reason why the hood is in the condition that it's in, because the residents in the hood, they just don't know who they are, and they just don't realize that everyone is born with abilities, gifts, talents, and purpose. And I expounded on those areas that are in all of our hands. Our guests are here tonight. They are going to share with us their area of gifting, which is in their hands. Welcome to the Mob Show.
Very good. Always. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I want to start with, and I want to start real quick with Abdiel. Abdiel, you know why? And this is why. There is a stigma. There's a big stigma, right? In Spanish American, I will say Spanish American community, right? Because it's in the Spanish community too, right? But we don't tend to deal so much when they call them, a financial consultant and then somebody that investment and things like that. We are kind of skeptic. That's the word, skeptic to what is a financial consultant. Abdiel.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you all for having me. It's a pleasure to be involved in this group. I've been assisting in the Hispanic community with other groups, and I can also practice more my English now. I'm so I can switch back and forth very easily. But no, essentially, I'm I'm a licensed financial representative.
Okay.
I'm licensed federal and nationwide, and then I have the ability to coach, mentor families, nonprofit organizations, and business owners when it comes to finances. It's a very broad subject, but at the end of the day, I try to narrow it down to specifics. I sit down with the community and bring a lot of education. It's crucial because especially in our culture, in our community, the legacy that a lot of us have been brought up is just work, and finances hasn't been something that has been put as a priority. So it's not something that it's naturally on a day-to-day basis. So it's really important and crucial that we can bring simple subjects and concepts that are easy to understand, and for every family to understand where they at and where they want to be. I try to sit down with them, and customize a plan. Imagine like building a roadmap to a destination. And I find out I tailored a program that it tells them where they at, where they want to be, whether they want to save money for retirement, where exactly, what vehicles are available for them to invest their money in, and have potential growth than utilizing the traditional banking. Maybe they want to have tax benefits. If you have a nonprofit organizations, what vehicles are available that they can maximize those resources. There's a lot of information out there, but there's not a lot of people that have access to this concepts. So my whole goal is just to bring this information to the community and help them out. At least we can change someone's lives and change their legacy in the near future. A lot of this. Hopefully, I'm trying to put it in context, but there's a lot of information that I can exchange. And depending the individual, then I'll sit down and then just I just want to keep things simple, education, and then from there we'll build as we go.
Okay, amazing. That's really good what you say. It's on the money because that's what I was trying to express. The necessity for us to understand investment and how this world work. Because it's true what you're saying. We have been raised. And in other words, we've been programmed to work, like you say. And I will not risk it. I will not, put my money in there because it is not something secure for me. This is what I know how to do, and I guess it's that time already. It's time for us to learn and to start learning about all of that. I want to go. When you live, everything change in a minute.
Yes, and something that we have to clarify. It's normal to feel skeptical. It's very normal. The lack of information, the lack of the proper orientation. It's normal for us to have that mindset. So I highly encourage everyone to have the opportunity at least just to sit down and find out what it's a program that can be tailored towards their needs, and that allows you just to have a better direction when it comes to your finances, and that gives you more peace of mind at the end of the day. But we have to start from ground up building like educational concepts so that way we can make better decisions.
There are two principles that come to mind with both of the guests tonight, and we're just so happy to have you because the strength of the oppressor is found in the ignorance of the oppressed.
Mm,
Let us not suffer because of lack of relationships and resources.
mm,
Both of our guests who are gracing us tonight with the abundance and the plethora of knowledge it is necessary that we have these relationships and resources, because the oppressor is just not knowing how to negotiate certain obstacles when it comes to finances and 501c3s, because a lot of organizations are up and running, but they have no clue on how to get to the next level.
Mm.
So let us not suffer because of lack of relationships and resources.
I like that,
Yeah.
and I really like that. And I was just saying, when you live and the conversation start getting there, you just let the information like guide you. So right now, I want to jump to Samantha, right? Because what you was just saying right now, Abdiel, about the community creating all of these things and what they are. Samantha is the executive director of a community foundation now, right? That sounds really good for a lot of people, and a lot of people understand that. But Samantha, what is a community foundation? What is it that you guys do?
I'm sitting here jotting down notes about
Okay.
because it was outstanding. And what was very interesting was that the community foundation is providing an opportunity for just that, relationships and resources.
There you go.
We are a collaboration of funds from individual donors, and as well as that are restricted monies that are for certain causes that people care about specifically, as well as an unrestricted fund that that our board of directors can decide where it is best needed.
Mm.
So the Community Foundation of Monroe County is a nonprofit public charity with a tax-exempt status. We're independent. We're publicly supported by unrelated donors that have broad-based charitable interests. So we can help people who have interest in animal welfare, children, um, international work of some sort, food insecurity, housing, healthcare, the arts, music, culture, history.
Mm. Hmm.
These are all options for people to establish funds where they can take their money, whether it's now or whether it's in the future. They can leave money, they can turn over IRAs when they're mature, and put that money into a place that can better the community in an area that they really are interested in. So we also, in terms of relationships, collaboration. I've worked with Roots Living Ministry around the table talking about opportunities to help with mental health and with food insecurity, and just developing relationships with these nonprofits, helping to provide them with education and resources, which is what you were talking about. It's people not having resources. And nonprofits, they often start with passion for a certain cause and what they want to do, but they don't know how to administer them properly and set up their own nonprofit status and be fiduciary responsibility to the IRS in terms of reporting and how they handle their money. And so we are able to help with many of those challenges.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing that, because
Yes.
we've been doing this for 6 years now, right?
In Pennsylvania.
Yes, yeah, 6 years. I mean, Roots Living Ministry,
Well,
yeah,
as a Roots Living Ministry, yes, here in
it's
Pennsylvania.
it'll be 6 years exactly in June, when we've had our paperwork submitted and filed with the state. And so it's been the learning curve. I mean, that's not a curve, that's loops and ups and downs and sides to sides, all types of things. We started off with an agency and then realized that the agency was doing things that I could have Googled and learned about. And it's just so many ups and downs. So I think that's cool, because I do remember one of the last meetings that we were both at, that we were talking about that, what kind of resources could nonprofits use in order to maximize, the donations that they get, and the financial resources they have. It's one of probably, I think, one of the most challenging things that we faced as an organization ourselves is money. How do you ask for it? Once you have it, how do you use it? The reporting aspect of it, the IRS, all of that. So I think that's great that you highlighted on that. Another thing that you highlighted was, which I don't think a lot of people realize, is the difference between discretionary and undiscretionary funds. Most of the times when you go to fill out like a grant or something, it's for a specific project, and the money that's awarded has to be used within the parameters of that project. But that doesn't quite help you when you need to pay rent, or pay staff, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so the non-discretionary funds allows you to use it for operating budgets and, things of that nature. And so thank you for pointing that out, because I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is why, it's like why I have somebody like Abdiel, no, like she was saying, no, this is our 6th year working at. I will say, listen, we've been doing this as a family for a long time. Our family have always done this, right? I'm a pastor. This is not everybody knows, right? But now for the past 8 years, it's been different, right? Because you have two type of, and I will describe it like that. You have two type of pastors, right? Let's put it like that. Well, you have the pastor where he's spiritually nurturing and giving to that community on a church. They do the service, they do the activities, and they do all of these things, right? But it was a time in my life when they moved me over from there, and they said, well, now we need you to work in the community, right? And this is different. This is a different game here, right? On a church, you got the people that give you the offerings, they do this, they do this, they do that. Here, there's nothing like there are no offerings here, and there's no Sundays here, or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, it took us by surprise. But like we do, we're gonna grab it and we're gonna write this down, and we started working, and seeing how it works. For a person like me and for us right now, if we know, we would like to say, well, at the end, what can we do? And I'm asking you this question right now. What can we do at the end? I'm a nonprofit organization. I would like to invest some money so I can cover the part there. Beautiful and amazing organizations like Community Foundation and Samantha, cannot cover. They can help me in certain aspects, but they cannot help me completely. You understand? And then what? This is the kind of work that you cannot do this. This is not a hobby. This is not a 4-hour work. You have to do 8 hours, 9 hours, 12, 14, whatever is needed in order to get that goal and get it done. So what I can do, Abdiel, so as an organization, can I invest? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can you enlighten me, please?
No, absolutely no, and that's an excellent question. We know a nonprofit organization, of course, they have its tax benefits and whatnot. So of course, there's a pool of money that it has been allocated that is exclusively, we need to have X amount of liquidity, and that must be utilized accordingly for the nonprofit. It has to be properly distributed. But also, let's say that you are an employee within that nonprofit organization. Well, there are certain vehicles that can be utilized that, if that is earned income, you can utilize that and have different types of account, whether if it's an emergency account that you want to have like quick liquidity, or maybe you want to have a retirement account. That's something that you haven't thought about. There's certain accounts, like some of them are called 403Bs, for instance, that are utilized for nonprofit organizations, and that's a retirement account that you can offer to your employees within that nonprofit. So that has tax benefits. You can minimize the taxable income at the end of the year within the for the employee and also the institution. And there are also other accounts that can be like maybe for a midterm. You know, what I'm saying midterm is maybe you have personal goals within 2 to 5 years. There's certain accounts that can be utilized also that not necessarily have to be directly like a bank account, like a traditional bank account, that you can invest your money depending your risk and tolerance. We have to determine that, and then you utilize those funds so you can have potential growth in, for that particular investment. So
Mm,
there's certain strategies that can be utilized for sure.
mm,
There, there, there was something that came to my mind. We talked about grants, right?
yes.
We need grant writers.
Oh,
Grant writers usually write grants for a fee.
yeah. A very expensive fee.
Yep, very expensive fee. Are there any funds available specifically for grant writers,
Uh-huh.
or are there any grant writers who volunteer or give back to the community and writing grants for community-based 501(c)s like pantries?
Oof.
I've seen them both. I've seen them both. I've seen people that charge. I've seen people whose heart's been kind of moved by whatever that mission is, and they decide to donate their time and become the grant writer of that organization. I've seen it both happen, though obviously the the donated one is a little less what's it called?
In detail. Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, I was just, let's say, less common is what I'm trying to say. There you
I
go.
would say I would have asked Samantha, right? Samantha, what is your experience on that? How we go about the grants and
Well, some grant writers get paid a percentage of the grant that's awarded.
okay.
Some of them only get paid if it's awarded.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I have certainly helped with grant applications in certain situations, not in my current capacity, but because I've been a consulting, subcontractor and worked on projects and things. There have been some things that I've helped out with some grant writing, etc. So I think it's all over the map.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I think there's probably some grants will pay a percentage of professional services, whether it be engineering or grant writing services, etc. But I think
Okay.
it depends on the grant.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I got
Information is key.
That's
Yeah.
right. I have a question, right? And I'm going on the same line, right? So let's say us right now, Roots Living Ministry. For what I've been listening, we can open a restaurant, right? And that restaurant, we can open it under. And I'm asking a question, right? This is what I'm doing. I'm asking you guys a question. This is my plan. I'll say per se, right? Let's per se. I open a restaurant because I don't got time for that. I open a restaurant, right? I open a restaurant, and I open the restaurant under the organization, right? In order so I can build money, right? So I can have money, so I can run all of these programs. So I want to see if I'm understanding right. So this is what you're telling me, Abdiel, that it's good to put all these different accounts allocated to different funds. That's what you more or less.
Not directly within the pool of money within the organization. It's you every organization, it's dependent how it's ran. Okay.
Okay.
um so if you're employed through that organization,
Mhm.
nonprofit, let's say that you're receiving income from that. You're getting paid as an employee from the organization. When you receive that income, you can utilize that income, a portion of that income, and you have options that you can invest certain accounts.
Okay.
One of my concern is that if not going directly in the with the treasury where all the pool of money is, because we want to make sure that organization has everything properly allocated, it's accessible, it's liquid. We don't want to put it at risk. So because there's certain investments that they have certain level of risk, and we want to steer away from that direction.
I got you. I
Does
understand.
that make sense?
I was just gonna say a question for people who don't understand words like liquidated and at risk. Like, could you just give a quick little rundown and I guess your definition of how you would describe that to someone who may not know?
Sure. So having liquidity is just having quick cash. You have a regular bank account, you have a checkings account, or you have cash. I have an emergency. I can just pick it up. Wire that money that it's accessible.
Mm,
Accessible.
okay.
So, but when you depend, but the thing is that we want to steer away from a like a aggressive or volatile like investment account, because we don't want to put that those particular assets at risk, because we
Mm,
want to make sure that they're liquid and they're utilized for the organization
I
for the
understand.
organization
I get. I get a little bit. I got to sit down with you maybe 20,000 more
Yeah,
times.
yeah. Well, we can have a full on conversation and give different examples of what it's available, and that will paint a better picture for what you're looking for.
I get
We'll
it.
hold you to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things in terms of that the Community Foundation offers are an opportunity to create an organizational endowment fund,
Mm,
which an endowment is permanent. It's permanently protected. It's here forever. But in order for it to be endowed and permanent, you can't take all the money out. So
mm,
therefore, it's protected. So a nonprofit, like what you're talking about, you
uh-huh.
could establish. You could start an endowment fund for $5,000, and then 5% of that could come to you in a check to be used towards your operating expenses on an annual basis forever. So that is a place that it's protected. It has long-term viability. That's not liquid, like what he talked about. So that's kind of more removed than a savings account.
Mm. I'm learning. I'm like, I'm learning because everything that I'm, like I was saying, I was first a type of pastor, minister, how you want to call it. Now I'm doing something different. When I come here, I find out that things are very different in this kind of field, no? And you learn, you start learning right away, And one of the things that actually we do in a show like the way that we're doing tonight, it's because we would like to know, right? I'm gonna go with Samantha. Samantha, what the community, what this community, the community that we live in this case, we both here in Strasbourg, what we can do, what is it that we can do in order to get the community foundation the help that it needs to actually, I will not say help everybody, but because you do help anybody that it's in your way that you can help him, but just to get more funds, to get more funds so we can cover more areas. So how the community can we help you?
Donate money.
That's it.
always the key. But every little $5, $10. Actually, it was interesting. One of the webinars that I participated in this week by a professional fundraiser said, try to get people to donate monthly. $5 a month. People who donate monthly are more likely to do it in the long run, are more likely to keep going. And that's really important for sustainability for a nonprofit organization. So that's something that's important. People who have a certain interest area can create their own fund, or if they have enough money that they can open a fund to benefit a certain area, such as food insecurity. They could invest $10,000 and be able to give grants with that or use it for that type of situation. So that would be unrestricted. No, that would be restricted money. That would be for that, what the donor's interest is. If people wanted to support the overall community foundation and what we can do with collaboration, that's just money to our unrestricted or our general fund.
Mm.
And then once we have enough money in there to endow the organization and pay the operating expenses, then we can have money to give grants. And then we'll have a grant round, which might be for a specific field of interest or not. It might just be for small projects. But we received our nonprofit status about a year ago. So we still have a lot of growing to do.
Okay.
I wanted to actually ask about that. Why start one in Monroe County? Like, how did that come about? How did you even get involved?
Because we are one of about 866 community foundations in the nation.
Oh, wow.
And the state of Pennsylvania has, I believe, the most in the country. All of the counties around us have community foundations or are part of a community foundation that is a larger area. The Scranton Area Foundation has several counties that are part of that. Lehigh Valley does as well. So for a very long time, it's been talked about. And there have been other larger metropolitan areas that have tried to cover our county. And the founders felt as though we were different than the Lehigh Valley and different than Scranton.
Yeah.
So they wanted to create our own nonprofit. We were able to get some funding and some help from the nonprofit community center up in the Scranton area, NEPA Alliance. And they came in and helped get the board set up and et cetera.
Wow. All this is music to my ears, no? You know why? It's because I know that a lot of people there right now, constantly, you know, this is something that my daughter can tell you, Pastor, how can we start doing what you guys are doing over there? How can we do this? We want to do this. Can you send me food? Can you send me food so we can start doing that? And I like the passion that people have. I really do. But at the same time, I'm that person that I'm going to tell you. I love your passion. But it's not as simple as me sending you a bag of food. I can send you right now a food. Yeah, send you a box of food, but if there's no consistency, you don't have programs behind that, because what we do is not just we know for sure that we're not going to cure hunger. It will be ignorant from my part thinking that I'm going to cure something like that one day to another, but we still strive for that, and we try to bring food to everybody, so at least you're not going to go hungry tonight. You know what I mean? So but at the same time, we use it as a tool, because through that we can see what is the flaws, and like you guys said in the beginning, everybody got their specialties, everybody got their own place to work and where they're going to work. And that's my work. I do mental health, I'm going to do recovery, I'm going to do all of that, I'm going to rebuild you from the ground. So when you see all of these things working in a community, and you see a holistic picture of it, you understand that these have to be something that we all have to bring our expertise and start working on areas, right? This is kind of the problem that I have, if you want to call it a problem, no? But I have seen that, right? And I think we should, as community leaders, right, as organizations, start working on our lanes. If this is what I know how to do, let me keep up with this. Let Samantha do what she have to do. Let Abdiel handle my financials, because I really don't know. Because sometimes we just don't want to handle our business or whatever, or the baby that we growing to somebody else so it can help us. But in reality, I find out in my years doing this, I need people, and I need to trust other people that they are going to do the right thing with what we're doing, because
Absolutely.
you by yourself, by yourself, it's impossible.
Yeah. Teach a man, rather, give a man a fish and he will eat for the day. teach a man how to fish, and he will eat for a lifetime. What am I saying? Roots Living Ministry has mental health, gives out food, and they do other things.
Mhm.
You just can't give out food and expect a change. There has to be a total package. It's like I used to go on prayer walks with my church,
Mhm.
but I began to dislike the prayer walks because I felt so bad. We go and we pray for people, and you pray for the homeless, you pray for the drug addicted, you pray for the stressed out, you pray for the impoverished, and then you leave them in that condition.
Mm.
That makes no sense at all. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mhm.
So if a person that, again, relationships and resources is the key, because if I go out, or if at the pantry, right?
Mhm.
At your pantry, at the pantry that
We
I'm a
work.
member of here, or I'm on the board of directors and a volunteer. I'm an integral part of the pantry. Um, I, my eyes are open, my heart is open, my spirit is open, because there are people who've come through that line who you can see in their eyes and in their countenance. They are at the end of their rope and they really need help and have no place to go, or living in the woods. How can I help them? How can I, without relationships and resources? I can't. Some of them don't have IDs, but with the proper relationships and resources, I can send them to the place to get the ID or start the process, right?
Mhm.
Um, but a lot of times we need grants even just to do that, to put certain things in place,
Yes.
because people are struggling today, and all of our volunteers, none of them are millionaires.
Hmm.
You know, they are volunteering because they see the condition and they need, and they are fulfilling a need, but they also are in need.
Mhm.
So maybe with these grants we can hire them,
That's the goal.
hire them, so that it can help them maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
Empower the people, no? Empower the people. It's like you said, no? I have people that tell me, well, Carlos, I'm on SSD, right? I'm on Social Security, I do this, do this, do that. Real quick, Abdiel, can a person with a Social Security can invest and make it something later on in life?
Absolutely,
You see?
absolutely.
You see how we do that? How can we do that up there? How
Yes,
a person can do that? Little steps. Tell me two steps.
yes, it's just building application. So you have your ID, or maybe you have your social security, and then they can qualify. We just have to find out exactly what strategy they want to utilize, and then we point them to the right direction. So yes, having a social security and an ID, it's sufficient to for them to start. The whole point is just at least to start, even if it's with the minimum. But the whole point is just to make it a habit, so in the future you'll reap the benefits, definitely.
So this is something that anybody they put their minds into, and they focus into that, they can do. They can
Exactly.
grow, right? The sky's the limit, like they say, right? The sky's the limit. It's how you want to do this, right? Unbelievable. I know that I wants to talk.
No, no, you're good.
Okay. You see, why? It's because why I'm asking you these questions is because uh, then we're gonna go again and again to that topic, no? Behavior, learning, managing, how you manage your life, how you manage all of this. And why we talk about this, because this is what I do. I talk, and work with people that one way or another we learning how to manage our lives. That doesn't mean that Okay, Mr. Martinez, you got clean, this, and that, long time ago, and that was so good, and this and that. That doesn't mean I'm not still learning how to manage my life, because I find myself right now in a place where I need the expertise from a person like Samantha, and I need the expertise. I need the expertise from Samantha, and I need her help. And at the same time, I need the same thing from Abdiel Gonzalez, right? I need their help because these people are professional. They know what they're doing in that field, no? And this is why we do things like this, no? When I say Staley Bozo from Santo Domingo, we got people from Santo Domingo. Hello, hello.
Sorry. I wanted to ask you, Samantha, one more question I hear that I had that I was really interested in hearing. So I know that you've been meeting with a lot of the organizations in our areas, us being one of them, and participating in committees and meetings. What are you finding? Because Monroe County, for those who maybe are not familiar, Monroe County is huge. I think our last census we had about 100 and like it was like 125,000 people, right?
170,000.
It's 170,000.
280 square miles.
It's huge. There's towns. I mean, like it can take you an hour to go from the tip of one to like the tip of the other, and you're still just within one county. So it's huge. There's a lot of things to tackle within that. What are you experiencing, I guess, from talking to these organizations as to what's needed here? Like what is it? I guess what's the need that you're seeing?
Well, there are certainly many needs. I would say that the top three that seem to be coming out, no matter who I am meeting with, but are food, housing, and mental health or behavioral health.
Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, they're related. Although I certainly talk to people who work in the environmental protection area who are concerned about water quality. There are other people, and that's been something in the Poconos because people moved to this area because it's beautiful and because the water quality was good, was exceptional. And people would vacation here from the city. Land has continued to be developed. We're at the point now where land, anything that's left is really not particularly developable. But that's one focus area. And that's in comparison to somebody being able to eat tonight, on hierarchy of needs, food and shelter are probably first. But certainly there are more and more mental health and behavioral health issues that also can affect a person's ability to learn how to, or feel comfortable learning how to cook their fish instead of just eating it.
Yeah.
That has an impact, as well as making good money decisions.
Mm-hmm.
They can't always make good decisions with, they get their check from wherever, and then they don't make good decisions about how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably no surprise that those three seem to be the highest that people talk about.
Absolutely. I think, I think you hit it right there. You nailed it when you said, your mental state, your mental health. It's super important, like you said, because if that is not right, you're not going to be able to sustain your food, your shelter, and all of this. And this is what we have seen. This is our experience. This is what we experience. We've seen people. We are kind of. I will have to say different when it comes to that. We like to know the people that we serve. I'm not just opening the trunk and put it there and I'll tell you, hey, bye, and that's it. No, that's not how we do things. If you go to our pantry, Deacon Jonathan, he'll tell you. We talk to people. How you doing? Hey, what's your name? Come here, let me talk to you. Go to our show.
Absolutely.
Go to our podcast so you can see it. The way I am right here, it's this is what you're gonna get here, over there, anywhere. This is me. And you're going to see me like this all the time. And I'm going to be the same way. So, you start learning and you see people, right? Uh, I remember, ¿cómo se dice? Anécdota.
Uh,
Una anécdota. ¿Cómo se
like
dice
an
una anécdota,
analogy,
González?
like an analogy, right? Like a,
I don't know how to say that word in English, right? Nobody knows.
Una anécdota.
Anécdota, it's like a little story, right? It's like a story, una anécdota,
like an
something that happened.
analogy, like a kind of like a
I don't
maybe
know.
to describe like a.
I don't know how to say it. It's a story, right? Something that happened. Una anécdota in español, it's something
Reminiscing.
that happened. Yeah. It can be like reminiscent, but the thing was this, right? You think you're not going to see things like this in America. In America, full of honey and milk, doesn't work like that. One day, we just doing the food pantry or whatever, and family came in, never seen them before. They came in or whatever, and we, hey, how you doing? This, and that. One of the kids tell me, he says, "Can I have water?" And I said, "Of course, you can have the whole thing here." She gave him the gallon. It was you.
Yeah.
She gave him the gallon. This kid opened his eyes like, "For me, all of it?" No, that don't lie. It's a little kid. He was not more than 4 or 5 years old. That expression in his eyes, everything that he said, this is what I do, and this is what we do. Because you see the expression in him when he said, all of this is for me, all this, it's a gallon of water. For somebody else, he said, what are you talking about? That's a gallon of water. You can buy it there. Yeah, but it's not the same for everybody. And I have learned that through those experiences. So, when Samantha says, mental health, obviously, mental health, yes, number one, I would say, because it's the indicator. It's the indicator when you can see, how can I help this person? How can I go by helping this person? And the stigma, no, we have to come, and be free of stigma when it comes to that, because not everybody that is going through a homeless situation or mental health situation from any kind of trauma, medication, there's many ways, that you can describe mental health. So, people go through those situations sometimes, and other people will be like, nah, he wants to be like that, or nah, that was you get that feeling of, I'm not going to help him because, or whatever. You might think this person is not using their money properly or nothing like that, but you'll be surprised that many of the cases, that's not what it is. It's just they didn't have the money enough to pay the rent, and they find themselves without paying the rent or buying food. Of course, you want to buy food, and then all of a sudden next month you lost the apartment, and they continue on that spiral. Trying to come clean, but you got 3 kids, you got this, you got that, and it have nothing to do with drugs. It have nothing to do with alcohol. It have nothing to do with none of that. It have to do with life. Sometimes it's like that.
Financial literacy, not just knowing how to.
Hey, I didn't want to go there, but I didn't want to go there. But
This brings on mental health. This brings on a mental health issue and crisis. Brings on stress, trauma. That's a word I made up. That's stress. That's stress and drama. Drama, depression, anxiety. People are out there at the end of their rope.
yeah,
And it's personified. We when we turn on the news, we see mass killings. That's mental health.
Wait. Yeah.
Who gets up in the morning and says, I'm just gonna kill as many people as I possibly can? There were steps that brought them to that threshold.
absolutely.
And when we look back, they usually bullied students,
Yeah,
and they're at the end of their rope.
absolutely.
Nobody took the time to identify, because I can see troubled youth, people who are struggling for whatever mental reason it is, whatever their soul is attacked with.
Mm.
If you look, you can see it before they commit mass murder, or before they go home and kill their parents, before they go home and kill their wife, before they go home and kill their children.
Mm.
This is our job.
I,
This is what we do.
I
Um,
Go
mhm.
ahead, Jonathan, if you want to finish. I thought
No,
you.
no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to mention something that Samantha said because we're talking about these immediate needs that we see that are very at the forefront, right, of needs in our community. And she mentioned something, the environmental, fund and the association. I forget their name exactly. But I think that's important. You know what I mean? Sometimes, we try to classify, and I went to I was a psychology major, so trust me, I understand the hierarchy of needs very well, right? Like, at the bottom, you got your food, your shelter, your this. But I think sometimes when we look at it in a linear way, we disregard the future generations and we kind of set them up to be in the same position that we are in today. Water quality is very important for health. It's for our future children. I'm 25 now, I'll be 26 in June. I'll have kids in a couple years, and then in 20 years they'll be my age, right? I know you guys are a lot older than I am, but it's something
No,
I
I'm not.
think about. It's something I think about because we think about water quality, then we think about, okay, chronic illness, which is at an all-time high in this country. There is no country in the world that has the amount of chronic illness that Americans are struggling with today. And then you think about why someone has mental health issues or why they struggle to work or why they, all of these things. But if you go back enough, the need that wasn't at the bottom, the need that wasn't the most pressing, was actually something that was very pressing. We just couldn't see it so far into the future. And I think it's great that you mentioned that. And I think we should pay more attention, not just to the immediate physical needs. We understand there's people that's hungry. We understand there's people that's homeless. It often breaks my heart sometimes that, I can't open my doors to everybody. I can't get all the food I want in the world. Those are very, real things that I think a lot of people working in this field often feel burdened with. But I've started to try to focus my perspective on prevention, right? Because the way that things are right now, there's not too much that we can do. There's for the everyday person, yes, we can give that food, we can help out with the sheltering, but at some point we have to say, you know what, enough. We don't want to just keep a system where we're just, responding to needs, but can we anticipate needs and can we prevent them from becoming as bad as they are? I think the community foundation is doing a really good job of highlighting that. Thank you.
And I have something, Samantha. You said when you were speaking before, right? You said, well, one of the things that the Poconos, this is the Poconos. You're absolutely right. The Pocono is something different. It's different. It's beautiful, Abdiel. When you come here, you're gonna love it. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it.
Look forward to.
Yeah, the cabins. It's cozy. No, it's really cozy. It's really nice. Samantha was saying about. She said, well, and I'm quoting, right? She said, well, we have a very good water, and I think we still do. I don't know much about that, to be honest with you, but this is something that, like she said, no, because I know that, I don't know, I don't pay too much attention to these things, sometimes they were supposed to be honest with you, but I know there was something going on with a river. They were trying to preserve the river or something like that. And I guess it goes to the same, per se, do what you was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, listen, right now nobody's paying attention to that, but in 20 years, this is going to be your source, so try to pay attention now, because if you start messing up this, you're not going to have it later on, which it's I think it's amazing way of thinking, to put those needs in top of what you think you need right away, no? But let me think about the next generation, and actually a foundation, the foundation and a nonprofit like us, all of these things work like that. This is what we do. When I'm not here later on, that I'm not going to be here, Samantha's not going to be here, we're not going to be here, but this thing is going to continue working, and it's going to continue feeding people and helping people, because it's not about what we can do here. It's about the legacy that you can leave out there. It's a legacy that you're going to stay out there. You're going to say, well, who was Abdiel Gonzalez? He was the guy who financially worked really good for a lot of foundations, that he was possible for because of him to give us the knowledge and build something way greater than what we thought, because I mean, I'm a passionate guy. I'm passionate.
No kidding.
I'm passionate on what I do. It's been great. If it's for me, believe me, I'll stay here talking to you guys. Another hour. I know everybody got their things to do and everything like that. I know Abdiel gave me another half an hour for free.
No, you're good. You're good.
And Samantha too. But thank you so much, guys, because I know this conversation and the way we had this conversation and all the information that you guys gave the public, and everybody else out there is going to be a great help. It's going to be a great help. I want to say hi to Elika. Samantha, Elika is around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say hi to her. I want
Hola.
to There's a lot of people in there, hi to everybody. Thank you for being with us.
I have nothing to say, but if you guys would like to share anything before you go, websites where people can find you, support you, and all that stuff.
Am I able to type anything onto this?
I will put both of your websites and pin them on the front so people can know. But
Cool.
anything verbal, I mean, it's just the digital age now, right? It's just like as simple as pinning a website.
Yeah, you see what I was telling you earlier. Normally, I have to be. I'm me. English community really good. When I'm doing all these things. But sometimes talking to my Spanish community, my very old Spanish community, and they tell me, "Can you put this, and that?" I said, digital age, man. You gotta pin it. That's it. You gotta pin it, and that's it. Anyway, I always like to finish with something funny. Samantha, thank you so much. I know we are going to be doing great things together with Elika. She's around. She's typing. Everyone is doing good. Thank you so much. And I know we're going to do great things. And I know Abdiel is going to be a key person here to help us and to build and to do all of this. Jonathan, you have something to say before we out?
Yes, I'd like to thank our guest and to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
If you are experiencing the vicissitudes of life, if you're at the end of your rope right now, if you're experiencing megaton pressure and heat that you wouldn't imagine from the issues of life, I just want to encourage you and let you know that that's a good thing. What did you say? It's a good thing. Do you know a diamond, as precious as a diamond is, we all would love to be iced out. That's how they say it, iced out. Diamonds are precious, but they go under extreme heat and megaton pressure. They started out as a nasty dirty piece of coal. Just keep going through because you are precious. You are a diamond and you're just experiencing your process. So embrace your process.
Amen.
You're worthy. You're worth it. You're special.
Mm-hmm.
You're a diamond. Still learning.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.